The Vancouver market is heading into one of the most important shifts we've seen in years, and what's happening right now is setting the foundation for our next major housing shortage. And the irony is this: the shortage won't happen because millions of people are moving here all at once. In fact, Canada is set to significantly reduce immigration targets over the next few years, and 2026 is projected to be the first year in decades where population growth actually slows. The next shortage isn't coming from demand, it's coming from the supply side collapsing under its own weight. And when you look at the data behind construction cancellations, developer insolvencies, and the steep drop in new inventory entering the pipeline, you can see exactly where this is headed. Let's start with the pricing, and that is October's home price index, and I have the chart here on screen. It dipped another 0.3%, marking 10 consecutive months of price declines across Metro Vancouver. Detached, attached, and condo markets all softened, but the condo segment continues to see the steepest annual drop at nearly 6% year over year. Condos have been carrying the downward pressure for months, and the numbers are clear. The entire market is cooling, but the condo sector is doing the heavy pulling in terms of pulling that headline pricing down. This is directly tied to oversupply in specific pockets, distressed developers, and stalled investor demand. Even though benchmark values are down, this isn't the beginning of a crash, it's the midpoint of a reset before the next cycle. And the most important factor behind that cycle isn't buyer demand, it's supply destruction. When you zoom out and look at all residential construction across Vancouver, the picture becomes even sharper. And we have the stats here on screen. We have the share of total dwellings under construction with the Vancouver chart and some of the points on the left. The October data shows a 4.9% decline in condos under construction and a 4.5% decline in single-family homes under construction as well. The only segment showing growth is purpose-built rentals, which are up 2.7%, but there are developers that are hitting financial walls with project budgets exploding and some other considerations that could risk delay or cancellation. Nationally, more than 20 purpose-built rental projects have been paused or canceled in the last 6 months, and multiple regions, Vancouver included, are reporting permitting delays and stalled shovels. This is the earliest warning sign of a long-term supply crunch. What is also not helping the construction framework in terms of new supply is that project budgets are exploding, and dozens of these projects across the country and here in Vancouver are at risk of delays or cancellation. Rising construction costs, availability of labor, and sharply tighter lending standards have pushed developers into some of the worst build conditions in over a decade. Nationally, more than 20 purpose-built rental projects and countless other resale projects have paused or been canceled in the last 6 months, Vancouver included. And Vancouver, these continued delays and stalled shovels are why we're seeing issues with these permitting and these housing supply numbers on the data that has been shared. The share of single-family homes under construction is one of the most alarming statistics in the entire data set. Historically, single-family construction makes up 20% of what's being built. Today, it's only 5%. That is the lowest share in modern Canadian history, and it signals a structural shift that will impact the detached market for the next decade to come. A 5% construction share means detached inventory will become even more scarce, and if supply is not being replenished, even small waves of demand can create outsized price reactions. This is why, despite softer prices right now, detached homes are still selling in competitive pockets. The market is telling you where the future pressure points are going to be. But the real story, the one almost nobody is talking about, is at the permitting level. Building permits are down more than 40% year over year in Vancouver, the lowest permitting activity we've seen in 45 years. You cannot have a healthy long-term housing market when the pipeline is this thin. Permits tell us what the market will look like in 2 to 5 years, and right now the next wave of inventory simply doesn't exist. Vancouver is particularly exposed because we rely heavily on multifamily construction. When condo starts drop, which you can see in the chart, almost 5% in a single month, it's an environment where population growth is slowing but not stopping. You're creating the conditions for the next pricing spike. Now let's go deeper into the construction breakdown. Across Vancouver, total units under construction fell by 1.2% month over month and year over year. Completions are trending flat, and completions typically lag by 24 to 36 months. And with the sharp slowdown in new starts from 2022 to 2024, we're entering the period where completions will fall off a cliff. Developers are already signaling this. The insolvencies in the local condo market, Curve, Thin Properties, multiple West Bank properties facing financial uncertainty are early symptoms of a much broader issue. Lenders have dramatically tightened their underwriting because of this, and equity requirements are higher. Pre-sale thresholds are stricter, and with construction costs rising roughly 20% since 2020, many pro formas no longer pencil out. That's exactly why we're seeing developers walk away from land, delay excavation, or cancel projects entirely. Court-ordered sales are also climbing, something that we need to pay attention to, as court-ordered sales are up significantly year over year. And that tells us two things. Developers are stressed and over-leveraged investors are tapped out. These forced sales often lead to units re-entering the market at discounted prices, which contributes to the short-term downward pressure we're seeing. But here's the twist. They also remove future inventory from the pipeline because those development failures ripple into the next development cycle. When a project collapses, the next project behind it usually gets delayed or canceled. And when lenders see one developer fail, they become even more restrictive with everyone else. This is the exact pattern that leads to long-term supply contraction. At the same time, the population story is shifting dramatically, with the federal government dialing back immigration targets. The first time in years we've seen meaningful reductions. You'd expect downward pressure on demand, but even with lower population growth, the market is not creating enough new housing to meet even the reduced levels of future demand. This is the paradox that policymakers are missing. Lower immigration does not fix the housing crisis, especially because this is mostly focused on non-permanent residences and students who can't even buy here because of the foreign ban anyways. The crisis here isn't about too many people, it's about too little supply entering the system. When construction slows, when permits collapse, when developers fail, and when financing dries up, the market is shaping its next shortage right in front of us. This is why the supply destruction we're seeing today is so important. You cannot cut construction by nearly 5% in condos, almost 5% in single family, reduce the share of single family under construction to 5%, push permits to 45-year lows, and expect prices to remain soft long term. These are the exact ingredients that led to the 2015 to 2017 price acceleration and the 2020 to 2021 surge and the post-pandemic rebound. Every major price spike in Vancouver begins the same way, with a supply drought forming a year or two before demand shows up. And it's not just construction volume that is shrinking. Lenders are increasingly reluctant to finance large-scale residential projects unless pre-sales are extremely strong, which they aren't. Pre-sale absorption in many parts of Metro Vancouver has fallen below 30%, far under the required threshold to secure construction financing. That means even projects that look feasible today may never move forward, and as these delays stack up, the city risks entering a period where very few major developments actually break ground. And this is where buyers need to pay attention. Yes, inventory is higher today. Yes, prices are softer. And yes, you have more negotiating power, but the window will not stay open forever. When construction slows this dramatically and when new housing supply stops flowing into the system, buyers in 2 or 3 years will face the exact opposite problem: low inventory, bidding wars, and upward price pressure. And that's exactly why right now, even in a quieter market, well-priced homes are still selling quickly. Smart buyers understand that today's softness is temporary because the supply data is telling a very different long-term story. For sellers, the message is equally clear. If you're selling into this environment, pricing strategy has never been more important. Overpricing is deadly in high inventory markets, but when the market enters its next supply crunch, which it already is forming, sellers who hold high quality, well-located homes will be in a significantly stronger position. The sellers who win in the next cycle are the ones who understand the supply pipeline, not just the weekly sales numbers. The Canadian housing system is already in the early phases of a future shortage, not just in Vancouver, but everywhere else across the country is in very similar conditions. Not because of millions of people are arriving tomorrow, but because the housing pipeline behind the scenes is shrinking faster than anyone expected. Permits are collapsing, construction is slowing, and developers are failing. Projects are being canceled, and the next cycle is already being shaped by the decisions and conditions happening now. If you're buying, selling, or planning a move, this is the time to understand the full picture, not just the headline numbers. If you want a breakdown of how these supply side issues affect your specific property type or neighborhood, reach out anytime. You can see the link for my calendar booking is in the description below, and you can also book directly into my calendar, scanning that QR code in the banner. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.